Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. So what we're going to do today is create a chatbot which accepts some variables from your users like name, email, phone number, and then we're going to create a Zapier automation which is going to plug these records directly to your CRM. So my main idea is to use Voiceflow and Zapier as tools for this automation, and I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make these videos a whole series where I show you how to train your chatbot. It's gonna be an AI wired chatbot. We're gonna train it on our custom data using the ChatGPT 3.5 model using Voiceflow, and we're also going to connect it to some other apps that you may use in your business. So, right, so let's get started. Pretty much you can see the Voiceflow interface here. What Voiceflow is and what it does is pretty much it's a designer for chatbots. You can use diagrams. It's a no-code solution for chatbots. And here we can see Zapier, which what it does is it's a tool which connects pretty much all of the other tools which are normally separated. We can pretty much create integrations by combining them. So what I've done here is a catch hook in webhooks. So what we're going to do is we're going to launch the chatbot, and then we're simply going to invoke this hook in Zapier, and our leads information is going to be directly written to our Google Sheet. So let's get started with the chatbot creation. So what we're going to do here is pretty much just create a simple welcome message. So after you launch the chatbot, we're going to see, for example, welcome to Michael's Real Estate. How can I help you? Right, can I please have your email? And here what we want to do is listen for the user's response to that question. So we're just going to go and select capture. Alright, what we want to do is pretty much create a new variable which is going to be used to store the email of the user. Yep, okay, I got it right this time. So user email, we're creating the variable. So the user's response is going to be set to this variable. So what we want to do right now is we want to check if this email is actually a valid email. We don't want any records which are not valid. So I personally use a JavaScript code which is like 4 or 5 lines. It's nothing special. If you don't have coding experience, don't worry, you can just copy this over. So we'd like to go to dev and just pick JavaScript. And what we want to do is connect the first block with the second one. So pretty much after the user enters his response, we're going to validate if it's correct or not, if it's a valid email or not. So we go here, and we want to use our JavaScript code, which is going to validate our email address. So let me just copy this over. All right, what we have here is a simple regex expression Again, if you don't have coding experience, don't worry. So we have the regex expression, and we check if the input is empty or not. And then we have two paths, which are valid and invalid. We're just going to create them in a bit. All right, so here are our paths. We've got the first one and the second one. I'm just gonna call them valid and invalid. Okay, that's nice. What we want to do now is pretty much connect those paths to. So we've got a case where the email is valid and a case where the email is invalid. So what we're going to do here is create a new block which says thank you for the valid path, and we're going to ask for the phone number. And we want to capture the response. We're connecting the block again. So the default and the valid path both point to this block where it says thank you. All right, we're gonna add the check for the phone number. Pretty much the same thing, just a simple several lines of code. Again, we're creating two paths for valid and invalid. I think we got the idea so far. It's really nothing complex. All right, what we want to do now is handle the case where the email is invalid. We're gonna have to create a loop. So pretty much the user can enter an invalid email or phone number infinite amount of times. So what we're gonna do here is just make the chatbot spit out invalid email address. Try again, and we're gonna listen for that user input. Okay, now that we have that, we can go on and capture the variable. We're gonna set. It's very important to set the variable as user email once again. Okay, nice, and just connect it over back to the validation. So we want the, for example, the second try to to be validated as well as the third one and the fifth one and so on. So here now we have the validation. We're not going to do it for the phone number. I think you got the idea. It's nothing too complex. So we connected the failed and the invalid paths. So now that we have that, we can proceed and pretty much create the Zapier automation.
All right. So now let's create a new Zap real quick. So for the trigger, we're gonna use webhook by Zapier, and for the event, you just select catch hook. Okay, that's nice. And now, so for this example, we're simply gonna use a Google Sheet, but normally you can plug it into any type of CRM that you're using. So we need Google Sheets. Okay. Cool. What we want to do is create a new role whenever we invoke this workflow. Just select your drive, spreadsheet, lead gen, and the worksheet. Okay, we're gonna come back to this later. So right, we go back to Voiceflow. So whenever the phone validation is all right, we just want to create a new API call here. We're just going to invoke the Zapier workflow. What we want to do is change the request type to post request. All right, we're just going to copy over the URL of the trigger. We come here, we copy this, and now what we want to do is add the key value pairs of our variables in the body. So we have, okay, so user email. In here in the brackets, we're gonna add the value of the variable that we've already saved. So here we have user number, all right, and we're pretty much done. Let me just test that real quick. All right, we received the status 200, which means everything's all right. So we now want to just connect it. So in case of a default or a valid path, we do this, and in case of an invalid or a failed path, we're just gonna end the flow right here. Normally we'll add additional step which is going to retry the request, but so for now we're just gonna we're not gonna do this again. It's pretty much the same implementation as for the user email. So what we want to do now is pretty much whenever we have the success or a fail or a failed step, we just want to proceed, but we're going to do this thing later. So what we're going to do now is pretty much test this workflow. So this is not going to be very hard to do. We're just going to start our bot. Or actually we can just go and send the request again, generate, and when you come here into Zapier, we just want to go and test the trigger, And we see here that we've already received our values. So when we come here to the spreadsheet, that's very important. What we want to do is, just a second, come here, continue, and in the action you're gonna have, all right, so name, email, phone number, these are the roles. So we didn't add, I created the sheet with 3 values, we just have 2. So what you see here is that Zapier automatically loads whatever payload it received right here in this step. So here we're gonna need the user email, and here we're gonna need the user number. So we're just gonna continue, retest step. All right, and now everything should be fine. All right, all good. What we're gonna do next is pretty much, that's where the AI part comes into place. So after we have a successful response from the Zapier flow, so we're just gonna add end in case of a failed Zapier flow for now, and in case of a successful request, we're just gonna add a new response AI step. Okay, this is very, very important right now. So we wanna, for this example, I'm just gonna train my my bot on a knowledge base that I'm going to upload in a bit. So what we're gonna have here is the following: enter query. So for the question, we're gonna have last utterance, which is gonna be the last thing our customer is gonna type. So before that, we just want to make it listen for that response. So I messed it up a little bit. So we have pretty much the same step. Let's just say after we send a request to Zapier, we're gonna have thank you here. All right, thank you. Please give me as many questions, as many details about your question as possible. All right, nice. And here we're gonna just listen for the user's question. Let me just connect that real quick. Okay, nice. And then I have response AI. Now the question is going to be last utterance. Last utterance is basically the last captured response from the last captured message from the user. And instructions are going to be, all right, so what I'm going to do in a bit is pretty much train my bot on the information that I have on my website of my AI automation agency, which is Quantum Byte app. So what I'm going to do here is, pretty much add this URL to the knowledge base. So, all right, so far so good. Instructions are gonna be, let's say, give as detailed and customer friendly responses for the best user experience. Okay, in case it's not found, we're just gonna, so we have 2 paths, last utterance, and then we have the AI output here, and here we have not found. That's in case nothing is found in the knowledge base. So I'm just gonna add a simple step here, which is gonna print for the user, please try again, for example. Okay, we just want to listen for the variable once again, and we're gonna connect it back here. We just want to make a loop, so in case the user asks something that the bot knows nothing about, we just want to come back here to this block and retry that step. So in case it's successful, let's say we're gonna pretty much print it out, and then just let's say have a button in place, and this button is gonna be end chat. And we're gonna add some action to this chat, to this button, sorry, which is gonna be end. Okay, and what I'd like to show you now is in the knowledge base, we're just gonna go to data sources, and we want to add a new data source, which in my case is going to be a new URL. What you can do here is pretty much train, pretty much upload to the knowledge base URLs, a whole sitemap. So every website has a sitemap of all the URLs that are in it. You can train the chatbot on that, and here you have texts, PDFs, and docs. So what we want to do is just add a single URL for this example, and let's see what happens. All right, let's test this step. About your question as possible. All right, what does Quantum Byte AI do? And you can see that the bot just answered our question based on the data. Okay, how many days is the chatbot going to be ready in? All right, that's cool. Okay, can I book a free meeting? Okay, nice. What else? What social media do they have? All right, nice. All right, so we ended the chat. As you can see, it's pretty simple to build a solution like this. Okay, so now another question that you might have is how do you integrate it into your website once you do that? So it's pretty simple. You just go to Voiceflow, and what you're gonna do is just go to, let me just find that. I think it was integrations. Yep, that's integration. And what you're gonna do is just pretty much copy over the script, and when you do that, you just paste it at the bottom of your HTML page where the other JavaScript scripts are. And what it does is it just uploads the HTML element and pretty much invokes the API. So now the chatbot that you're gonna see in your website is gonna communicate with the chatbot you just deployed. So that was pretty much it. I cannot think of anything else right now. If you have any questions, please just drop me a line, drop me a DM on Facebook, or just enter the Discord server of Quantum Byte AI, and I'll be happy to assist you. So until next time, thank you very much for watching.